order the meeting of March 5th, 2019. Will please stand for the invocation of pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Board is excited to give our council members the faith and courage to carry on their duties, help them to do right, to deal fairly with others, and to place their trust in you. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have roll call, please. Here. 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 Here.
Yes.
Here.
Willard?
Here.
Hudson?
Here. You'll receive the meeting minutes for February 21st. Any comments or questions on those? If not, they'll stand as presented. We have nothing under reading or reports. It's my understanding that Kathy Brown is not able to make it this evening, so we will move right to Dan DiTilio here to discuss making our city government more accessible.
Thank you. So, what I really want to talk about was, there's a couple of different things. And I'll just got a little great thing here. While I fully believe our city is in compliance with all the applicable state and charter requirements requiring transparency and communication with its citizens, I think we can do better. Many recent events have kind of pointed to a need to find a new and better way to inform the citizens as to the happenings of city government. One thing that really struck me, I've kind of been sitting on this for a long time, is kind of emergency communications. And I'm thinking back to November when we had that extended power outage, and the areas around us were all under 3-day, we're going to be out for 3 days, and all of the news on social media, even for Columbiana people, was, well, we're going to be out for 3 days. And there was nobody in the city that I'm aware of that was saying, no, it's not like that. We're working on it. We'll have it together much more quickly. And I think that those kinds of emergency things are something that should be addressed, and we should have a written policy in place that's followed to make sure that we're communicating in those kinds of situations. Be it weather events. I mean, Chief Gladys does a great job with some of the police events and stuff like that. And I think we could do that and extend that across the entire city for emergencies. It doesn't have to be, not every time the fire bell goes off we want to do anything, but obviously for citywide issues, water issues, anything like that, that a written policy would be something that we should have. Beyond that, just kind of regular government communications, I believe we can do better. I think, we use the newspaper a lot, and no offense to our newspaper friends here, but the newspaper is just not the best way to communicate with people anymore. The city has a website. The city used to have a very active Facebook page that has gone by the wayside. There are a lot of ways that we can do this using resources that are already available to kind of get word out as to what's going on. And I'm going to call to point to RETA communications, or the RETA issue. You guys did what you thought was best, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of the RETA thing, but I wasn't here that night to raise my voice, so I'm as responsible as anybody if you guys didn't get information from the citizens, because I wasn't here either. But there was a lot of noise on social media after that, saying what was the city council doing, why didn't they do their research, blah, 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 blah. And I, for one, and others said, well, one thing you need to do is get there. You need to get to the meetings. But a lot of people said, well, we don't know a lot of times when this is happening, what's going down. RETA was an emergency reading, so they only got one reading to begin with. So in that vein, I've kind of put some ideas together as to ways that the city, things that I believe the city should do, and to better the communications with our citizens. And these are in order of my priority. Obviously, my priority is I'm just a guy, but I think these are kind of the way I would approach it. And I do note in here some city code issues, some city code areas, and that's just noted to show you that these are things we're already doing to some degree, and then maybe we can just take it to the next level, right? And so first thing, immediate or ASAP, I'd like to see up-to-date council meetings, you know, prior to the next meeting, even minutes. Even the preliminary minutes being posted prior to the next meeting on the city website, on the city council page. And that's already done per the rules of council, section D. I also believe that upcoming council meeting agenda should be posted on the city webpage the same day it's provided to the media under the rules of council, which I believe is for the Wednesday before the meeting.
We don't even get them until Friday.
I know, well, I was talking to one of you and learned that, but actually the rules of council, it was, E? I printed them out. That was one I told you. It says the agenda for the regular council meeting shall be given to the press in time for publication on the Wednesday preceding each regular meeting. It also says this requirement doesn't prevent discussion if it doesn't happen, but, so, that isn't, it's something that I assumed you were doing anyway. Sorry, I lost my place. So, it should be posted, you know, at least at the same time you guys get it on Friday, so that we have a chance to look at it. In addition to that, text of all the matters, ordinances, resolutions, whatever, that you guys are going to be considering for that meeting, I believe should be posted on the website in the same place, so that we have the ability to go in and look. I'm going to go back to the Dora conversation. Even though I was here for that meeting, I really didn't know what had already been done. So I didn't really think I could speak intelligently to whether I had a problem with it or not. I didn't, but I just didn't feel like I had enough information. So, and then council meeting videos posted to the city website within 72 hours of the meeting. I know that we do that, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's not there right away, and other times it is. And then I also note that ideally, for me, pie in the sky, let's shoot for the moon here, that these rules should apply to all the city boards and commissions, so that we know what's going on at every level of the city government. Now, I mean, there may be some stuff that's not allowed, a couple of things, but generally speaking, at least the agenda, the items that are being considered should be posted and available for the public prior to the meeting. And I'm looking ahead, live streaming of all the city council and other board and commission events as well would be something that would really kind of put us right at the top, I think, in communicating with our citizens. So,
I think it's a good idea. I would go so far as to say that we should maybe have a couple council members work on this, and maybe have you as a part of that.
I'd be happy to do that.
Because I think a part of what goes on behind the scenes is the individual employees that are uploading those videos, or the time that it might take before minutes get created because they're full-time jobs.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, and actually being able to see how some of that flows, to know how we could hit some of those time frames, I think it would probably be good for you to be a part of that.
I would be happy to serve in any capacity.
Maybe you guys want to set aside some time to do when your schedule permits and work on it. I think it's a good idea.
I'd be happy to do this.
I'm comfortable with that. I know I was passing information on to Lance earlier today because somebody that I know knows somebody else, kind of a situation, but names get passed around and whatever. And they contacted me today and said, hey, this is what we do. We help organizations do their social media and stuff like that. So, I pass that information on to Lance to look into, and I mean, whether we have an employee that can do it or we need to hire somebody from the outside, we have to actually sit down and look at that. So having a committee that sits down and meets, I think that would be a great way to figure out where we need to go.
I'd be happy to serve. Just tell me who to talk to.
I think that would work really well. And I think it would be good to add, it wouldn't be a static set of things that you're going to do. You can always, So, for example, the sunshine laws, it'd be great if that committee could also, you know, maybe go to a seminar, and Dan already referenced that, you know, some things we can't say, some things we can, you know, public meetings, or there's public meetings, rules and regulations, and, you know, definitions, and, you know, that could be another thing that you could add to this to, you know, so you're better informed on social media. Because you don't want to set yourself up for failure on social media and, you know, violate sunshine law.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't necessarily think that all of this needs to be social media. There's no reason why we need to post minutes and agendas and things on social media as opposed to just posting them on our website and having available.
Yeah, I think the city website should be the primary source.
Yeah.
Social media is a great discussion board, but a lot of people in the city aren't on social media. So, you know, I think that at least say that the city website, that we're gonna use that, and that's gonna be our point of communication. And then we can expand it out to social media, specifically for like emergency communications or kind of more up to the minute type stuff. But for the general stuff, I think the city website is more than sufficient for that kind of activity.
So, the tourism board did something very similar to what Dan's put together here for our website itself. So we met with them, they looked at our website and gave us, actually, some of them have, I guess they do it for a living, they're on the tourism board. So they gave us a list of 8 or 9 things that they would change, and we're in beta testing right now. Pretty exciting, we've already talked about it with, the chamber, but pretty soon we're gonna have the most up-to-date calendar that there is, and it's gonna be really neat. The chamber's gonna be able to post on it. City's gonna be able to post on it, and, maybe some other nonprofit organizations can post on it, and it'll be instantaneous live, so we can all have different, you know, keys administration, and, there's also gonna be filters on it. And just do city if you want, or if you wanna, you know, see what's going on in the city, and that's coming up real soon, so. And the website is, it's gonna look totally different here soon.
Yeah, I think, like Dan said, if we use the city's website as a point of contact, maybe if you did have to go out and put something on social media, you can still put that on the city website first and say, go to social media for this information, which, you know, the electric thing or something you want to get out like that.
Or link back from social media to the city website as well.
But in the meantime, like immediately, you're all welcome to go to the city website right now. We have what they call a Nixle alert. You can sign up for, and these are emergencies. So if we have like a boil order citywide and you're hooked up onto that, the chief will post that, and it will text you that. And then we do have just a you know, make sure that the citizens understand that we have a contingency plan in place, and it's about this thick from the county. So, but right now, immediately, I mean, we can approve stuff, but right now we have that Nixle alert, and it will go right out.
Yeah, I'm on the Nixle alert, and I've gotten those alerts.
Yeah.
But going back to that power outage, we didn't get one for that.
Yeah, well, so if, for example, if it would have been a boil order emergency, you know, maybe Nixle isn't the perfect tool to do that.
Right.
But I assure you, if we were going to be out without power for 3 days, we'd have put it on there.
I mean, what I was seeing was a bunch of people going, oh, we're going to be out of power for 3 days because Edison's is saying we're going to be out of power. And a lot of people, I think, understand the difference in some cases. But that was one that was just glaring to me, that we could have said, hey, no.
I think a lot of information on social media is just made up anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, well, 78% of statistics are made up on the spot. So,
I think maybe we need to possibly take it one step farther. Okay, we have a lot of elderly in the town, and they may not have computers, they may not even have smartphones. Maybe that is something that we could, through the tourism bureau or what have you, we do have a lot of the elderly that go to the library, and there are computer stations over there. But then again, some may not be literate enough in order to be able to, how do you say, traverse through the mechanism. So maybe we need to have some hard copies over there. Limited. Let's not get carried away, but that way, that takes some of the issues away that some of those folks, oh my God, they're doing this, okay, take the fear out of it, so the communication is.
Absolutely, and that's something, as sitting down as a committee, I think we could go through a whole bunch of that kind of stuff and really come up with a good, solid communication.
Yeah, I think it's a committee we just kind of brainstorm and work off each other's ideas to come up with some, maybe really out of the box ways,
Yeah, there's some really high-tech stuff out there that our safety forces would be willing to sit in on those meetings. It's amazing.
So maybe someone can make a motion to create this committee, and you guys determine who and when. But I do think you should be a part of it.
One comment I'd like to just bring in the legality. Postings on social media is not a problem, but the public meetings law can be a problem if there's a majority of council. So 4 people are on, and let's say that all 4 of you are commenting on some subject at the same time, that's a public meeting. And Katie can request minutes from that public meeting. So posting things, whether it's on a web page or on social media, that's not likely to run afoul of the public records or the public meetings law, but commentary is where you start running afoul of it.
Actually, what's interesting is there are a number of council members who we communicate on social media, and they're very specific that they don't. If 2 people get involved in the conversation, one of them usually steps out because they don't want to.
And that's exactly it. And I think you're going to, I'm not chastising anyone, I'm just saying, posting's not a problem. I don't think you're going to run afoul of the public meetings law. It's just when you get into commentary, because that's basically when you're getting into there's deliberation, maybe decisions aren't made, but anything that somebody can consider deliberations, then the media is entitled to be there. They're entitled to notice. Just, if we call a special meeting, how many hours notice have to be given to the media, and that's the reason for it. So
maybe part of the discussion needs to be some of the rules around how this would work as well, to say, the council can't, unless it's like your own council page, you can put some information out there. You can't engage in the same conversation at the same time. That's certainly another thing we would need to consider.
I mean, you brought up rules of council. I think council rules should probably be updated to the modern age, because they haven't been. I mean, we have no council rules.
There's no
Facebook
website
or any of that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, the general structure is here, but there's a couple of things. Well, like I said, the Wednesday posting thing that sounds like a couple of you weren't even aware of.
Well, we knew, but in reality, right up until Friday, before we get it, things are changing. And
well, I turned my stuff in on Friday for this, so I mean, I know.
I can't say.
Yeah.
I took a shot and it worked out. So,
somebody want to do that?
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second it.
The motion would just be to create a committee to.
I'd actually suggest the motion be for Lance to create a committee. Since you made the motion, you have to be the recommend for that.
So Lance can make the recommendation for the committee and how many, members and who he thinks needs to be on it.
Tell me if you're interested.
This is what I was going to bring up, as long as you are a participant.
absolutely, yeah.
Any other discussion on?
Just because it was brought up with Nixle, before we move on to the next topic, Nixle does not work for a lot of your cell phones that are not on a regular plan. So if you're just buying one of the cell phones over the counter at Walmart, Dollar General, things like that. You cannot get text messages from, Nixle, they won't come through, they say that it's not supported. You can sign up for emails, but pretty good odds are if you're buying one of those phones, you might not have quick and easy access to email either. So, that's something you need to look into.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Thank you.
Second?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Liston?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Next up, we have Brittany Ford here to discuss a 6K walk at Firestone Park.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Brittany Ford, and I'm here today to, I'm hosting a 6K through World Vision for the Walk for Water. It's going to be on Saturday, May 11th at 10 in the morning. The reason it's a 6K instead of a 5K is because that's the average distance children walk in developing countries drinking water, which is 3.72 miles. This is just it just holds a really tight place in my heart. Kids 4 and 5 are the youngest, and children walk this journey by themselves, and the water isn't even clean. It's killing them. They say average 1,000 children die daily over there from the water, from the malaria, and then just taken to trafficking on the walks, and just so many other things, and I would like to end this, even if it's with one child. So we're walking the 6K so they don't have to anymore. The registration will be $50. You don't have to register to walk, you can just donate, but $50 will cover the cost of one child to have clean water for the rest of their life, and it doesn't just help the child, it helps the community, because they're making wells there, which I think is really amazing. So we would like to hold it at Firestone Park. We'd actually like to start in front of the theater, cross the street, and we'll stay on the sidewalk all the way down to the park, and we'll walk the park 2 or 3 times around, and we'll stay on the sidewalk where there is a sidewalk. I spoke to the park board, they said that was fine. Spoke to the police, they said that they said it was available, and I even spoke to Don Arthurs and asked if we could set up a table in front of the theater, that'd be okay, and he said that was fine as well, so as long as the city council was okay with that. We don't expect more than 50 people. We had 24 last time, which I didn't do last year, I did the year before that. We do have insurance through the church that's hosting me, it's Midway Mennonite Church. If this does get approved, they would like to know though if there's a liability amount that the insurance needs for it.
$1 million.
$1 million? Okay. I'm so sorry, I will forget this, so. Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Yes.
At $50, how does that provide clean drinking water?
So they have people over there that train them how to fix them and keep the wells up so people in their communities can make sure those wells are working. So they have people place people over there to make sure.
So they're drilling wells and that's how they're doing it.
And they, most of the time, so say 5 people, have 5 kids in the same town, that's how they're able to really make the wells too. So they make sure, I think, most kids are in those areas, because it is a well, not just for a kid.
Have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.